Hello everyone, thanks for being today here. I'm excited to talk to you about how we can accelerate development and productivity with Snowflake DevOps capabilities. I'm Anurag, product lead at Snowflake, focus on dev platform and ecosystem. Today we face a lot of challenges in making our data work for us, getting data from different sources, ensuring it's accurate, and managing it all effectively. Snowflake is here to help make this easier. We want to empower you and your team to deliver insights faster and safely, and without any traditional bottlenecks that often slows us down. Our goal is simple: continuous delivery of value to the business. To do that, we need to break down silos, work collaboratively, and drive value consistently. With Snowflake, we are providing the tools that enable data teams to build applications and pipelines without the pains of using external and incompatible tools. Now let's acknowledge some of the common challenges we face. When building data pipelines, we often have to deal with multiple environments, manual processes, and complicated third-party tools. This results in frustration and slows down innovation. We have a lot of common tools for data management right now, which may be Liquiface, CMAS Change, and then we have imperative way of doing it, and then we have some of the tools which allows you to do declarative way. There are a couple of common challenges which we have seen in using some of these tools. Uh, Obviously, not all of them provide native declarative definitions for database operations. There are challenges coordinating changes across multiple teams and different tools here. And there's always a higher cost associated with managing multiple environments and third-party tools for our customers here. Introducing Snowflake DevOps building blocks. So as part of the whole DevOps offering, we wanted to build a full native solution for you to start leveraging DevOps capabilities or native to Snowflake. As part of it, we wanted to start making sure we have focus on the three main areas of DevOps, which is Git integrations for version control and collaboration, DevOps tools for templating and declarative definition of ease of use, and then familiar APIs via SQL and Python APIs that make it easier for you to get started with DevOps. Here you can see the different building blocks which are already in GA right now. So we have our database change management, which allows you to do create and alters for your resources to be able to define database object declaratively and use it across all your infrastructure needs. We have our Snowflake CLI, which integrates with our CI/CD pipelines like GitHub, Jenkins, and Azure DevOps, and able to automate a lot of your automation for pipelines. And then we have Python APIs, which allows you to now write first-class Python focused data pipelines and be able to leverage all of these capabilities of create and alters via it. And then we have Git natively in Snowflake, which allows you to fetch project configs and database pipelines changes from a remote Git repo, making everything available in Snowflake and able to run everything via our Snowflake CLI or Snowsite if you want. Let's do a deep dive into some of these features which we are talking here as DevOps building capabilities. So the first one is the Git integration, where now you can build collaboratively with the native Git integration in Snowflake. We allow you to run, edit, and collaborate with Snowflake assets which exist in a Git repo, able to integrate with the source control and be able to pull off all of these changes into Snowflake, which helps you to maintain a single source of truth for your team artifacts. This can be run via Snowsite. The Git integration is already available for your notebooks. And then now we have first-class APIs in CLI, which allows you to manage Git and able to do the whole Git integration easily from there. The next one is execute immediate from. Now, these capabilities allow you to run SQL or Python scripts directly from your Git repo. We have a dedicated CLI command, snow git execute, which allows you to run all of these files and able to run all into Snowflake without having anything to do on your local. And this is kind of a critical part of the whole CI/CD process, which we'll show you later, allowing you to run the database change management using everything from stage itself. This feature is also in GA right now. So the next one is our Snowflake CLI, which is now in GA. This is an open source command line tooling we have built from scratch for Snowflake for all our workloads. It enables simple commands to be able to create, manage, and run different workloads like native apps, Snowpark, Streamlit, all from your command line tools, hiding all the complexity behind the scene. This also provides an easy and effective way for you to do automation and build CI/CD pipelines. We have already introduced plugins for different CI/CD systems like GitHub Actions, Jenkins, and Azure DevOps. And then we have also introduced a new concept called Snowflake projects, which allows you to manage definitions of entities for different workloads like native apps, Streamlit, Snowpark, and SQL, all from one single file, snowflake.yaml. The next one is create and alter. This is Snowflake's declarative database change management capabilities. It allows you to manage your DDL scripts in source code in Git and let Snowflake take care of all the heavy lifting. There is no third-party tooling needed for this, and you don't have to worry about the state of files. So it really simplifies the way you will be able to manage all of these different resources without having to worrying about the intermediate state of them. And create and alter is actually supported both in SQL and Python. So you are free to use whichever language you want to use. The next one is Snowflake Python APIs. This is our unified Python interface for interacting with all our Snowflake resources across data engineering, Snowpark, and app development workloads. It allows you to manage Snowflake resources like tables, tasks, schemas, DAGs, everything from Python APIs, and able to leverage Python as a first-class language. It's already in GA, so please go and check it out. The next one, which is work in progress, and we'll show a quick sneak peek of this in my demo. This is called define and execute. And this is a declarative way to manage a collection of Snowflake objects using your Git repository or stage. And what it does, it provides a new syntax called define, which you will be able to use to define your different Snowflake resources. And then we will be adding first class support within the CLI, which allows you to init this project, run, execute, or do a dry run. And this will allow you to facilitate your CI/CD process to manage Snowflake objects by combining SnowGit, CLI, templating, and define and execute all together. And this is something we'll show as a sneak peek in the upcoming demo. Perfect. So this is where all of these things come together. So this is where you can see I have a Snowflake project. It can have a couple of different infrastructure files which I have, which is for managing my tables, managing my task. I can write it in SQL or Python now, and I will be able to use my Snowflake CLI to be able to use the git push command so that my changes from a remote Git are synced into Snowflake in stage. And then I will be able to use my Snowflake CLI to be able to do git execute, which allows me to run all of these files, whether they're in SQL or Python, all from Snowflake, and able to run all of these create and alter commands to be able to manage my infrastructure of my pipelines all within Snowflake. And then I have these indications to my CI/CD pipeline, which I can use to automate this whole process. So you are able to you are able to do changes in your remote Git repo on a feature branch, push all the changes, validate them, and then you are able to merge the changes to your master branch and be able to run it in prod, all automating and making your productivity go higher for your team. Now let's jump into a demo. The demo has two parts. The part one is what we'll show is already available, and the part two is the sneak peek of what's coming soon as part of the define and execute. Okay, so let's jump into the demo part one. So as part of the demo part one, what we'll show is we will have a project of these different files for managing our infrastructure. You can obviously use SQL or you can use Python. And now both of these files are able to support create and alter, which we talk about. So here you can see I have a sample project for managing my pipelines. And as part of it, I have some of these files in SQL where I have like create and alter for databases. But then I also have a Python file where I'm able to write first-class Python API for managing my resources and still able to use the create and alter. Along with that, you can see we also provide something called templating, which allows you to pass different parameters and be able to apply different environment variables to it. So I'm able to run it on my dev environments, see all my changes, and then promote that changes to prod, and then apply the changes to prod and make it all automated through it. The next thing which I will show you is our new Snowflake CLI, which is now in GA. As part of it, we provide a lot of new commands for you. So you're able to manage your native apps, you're able to manage Cortex functions, and you can also manage Snowpark and Snowflake projects also. One of the commands which will show little in detail in this one is the Git command, which allows you to not only manage Git integrations from your remote repo into Snowflake, but it also allows you to execute these files using the remote repo, copying the files into Snowflake, and then running them all within Snowflake. So here what we'll show you is that I have a remote Git repo where this project is now added. I have all of my databases, schemas, everything defined. And then I have a table, I have a orders table here. And you can see I have like 4 columns in that. I'll go ahead and add one more column here, and then we'll be able to run this whole setup to show how this gets added. So let me just go here, copy it, and here you can see I have a new product ID column added. Next, what I'll do is I'll check this in my Git. So let me go ahead and do the check-in. I am doing the commit, and then let me just do my push. Now what's happening is it's like adding all of these changes to my demo branch, but still it's in my remote repo. So now what I have to do is I have to take these changes and be able to push it into Snowflake. So the next step which I'll do is I'm going to use the snow CLI command and able to run this snow git fetch git repo. And I've already like configured this git repo in my in my setup. So you can go here and do a list, and what it'll go show is let me just 1 second. I'm not using the right command. It should be able to show you the list. So yeah, let's go over in our CLI here. You can see I've already set up my Git with my remote repo. So I can do a Git list, and you can see my Git is already configured for Snowflake. The next step which I'll do is I will fetch these changes from my remote repo, which I just pushed into Snowflake so that I'm able to run them. So the next command which I'll do is I'll be running this git fetch command. And what it'll do is it will fetch the changes from that remote repo into Snowflake. So you can see here, my demo branch got synced. And then the next step, which is the main step, is the snow git execute. And now what's going to happen is all my changes have been synced into my stage. And now this git execute will be able to run and able to execute all of these scripts, whether they are in SQL and Python, and able to run all these create and alters and change the state of my environment to the new state. And in this demo, it should be able to append the new column which I had. Now, if I didn't had my table already created, it should be able to create the table and also add this new column in that. Perfect. So here you can see the git execute command was able to run all of these different files which I had for managing my infrastructure. Now let's quickly go to Snow side and see whether my table got appended with this new column which we wanted or not. So I go to Snow Git, Snow side, sorry, and I'm able to see what happened. Okay, this was the orders table. Let's go and see the columns. Yes, you can see the product ID was appended in the end here right now. So this is a pretty short video to show how you can now manage all of your files using the create and alter, either using Python or SQL, and able to manage all of them declaratively within your Git repo, able to use your Git repo, fetch the changes, run everything in Snowflake. And then the last part of it is the CI/CD. Now you can use our CI/CD plugins for Git Action, GitHub Action, Jenkins, or Azure DevOps to be able to fully automate this flow and make it fully ready for your pipelines. Perfect. So let's get to the part 2 of our demo. And this is more of a sneak peek into what we are building as part of you able to manage all of your infrastructure as part of something we are calling as Snowflake projects and define and execute. So here what I have today is a way where you're able to combine all of your infrastructure entities into a into something we are calling as Snowflake projects. What it does, there's a declarative snowflake.yaml file where now you can able to define your entities, whether these are my projects or my native apps or Streamlit projects, and you're able to put all of your definitions under this artifact, which is definitions. And here you can see there's something new uh, object which we're adding, which is called define, which not only manages the definition, but it also manages the ordering or dependencies you may have among these different resources. So this is a good example where I'm defining a task, but then one of my tasks is dependent on another task. But then when I'm putting them as defines, this will all be taken care by Snowflake as part of the define and execute capabilities which we are adding. Now let's get to back to our CLI. So in the CLI also we are adding a new command under project, which will allow you to not only create projects, but be able to execute and validate these projects. So you are able to create these projects, push them to server side, execute them all as a single cohesive unit, and also be able to validate or do a dry run before you actually execute them. So let's take a short demo and see how it all works. So I'll go back and I will do an init of my projects. So let's now go into our Snow CLI. Here you will see we've added a new command under project, which will allow you to not only init it, but be able to create a version of a project on the server side, able to execute it, and also do a dry run using validate. So let's see how it all works together. Here I'm running a command called init. What it does, it takes my template and creates this new project called my project. And once I run it, you will see it creates all these dummy files which I need, including my snowflake.yaml, which I will be able to now use to get all these things clubbed all together into this kind of infrastructure project I have. Going back here, like this creates exactly the same thing which we showed here. So we have like databases, we have some tasks. The next step for me will be that I have these definition files. I'm like working on my local. Now I'm going able to push a version of this project into my Snowflake server side. So I'll take this command, which is for creating the version of a project, which is Snow project version. And what this will do is it will take my definition files from a stage. So I copy to the stage, upload all of these things, and then create a project and a version. So now this definition of my project with all my definition files, everything is now created on Snowflake side. The next command which I will show is I'm able to do a dry run. So I will be able to do like a Snow project, validate my project. And what does it? This will do is it will run all of these definition files in a way where you are able to see the dry runs and see a kind of result of that. Where it really helps us is that if you have a lot of changes and you don't want them to be applied on an environment, you are able to run this dry run, see the changes, make sure all that is making sense, or go back and change it before you do the execute. So this is more of a like making sure all the changes in the definition files are right. So I run my validate, I can see it will create me a warehouse. It will do something with my tasks. Now I'm all good. The next step would be now I want to execute my project. I'm able to go back now here. and run my execute. And now what will happen is it will take all my definition files, which were uploaded to stage, and able to run all of them and do the define and execute process, which we're talking about. Perfect. So here you can see if we quickly were able to like get all these definitions in under Snowflake projects, define using this new entity called define, and able to run all of them using the CLI commands for project. This part of the capabilities is right now going soon in PRPR, so look out for that. And we are very excited to have you guys try it out and give us feedback on this. Thank you so much for your time today. I encourage you to try out our Snowflake DevOps features and see firsthand how it can transform your workload and increase your team's productivity. Thank you all.